Far beyond the edge of ordinary maps, where continents seem to unravel into wilderness, there exists a land that feels unfinished by time. A place where fire rises from the depths of the earth while rivers of ice descend from the sky. A place so remote, so vast and so untamed that it appears less like a region of our planet and more like a forgotten world, suspended between creation and destruction. This is Kamchatka, a volcanic kingdom at the far eastern edge of Russia, stretching into the Pacific Ocean like a spear cast toward the Arctic. Here, mountains smoke without warning, valleys tremble beneath invisible forces, and entire landscapes seem caught in an endless struggle between heat and cold, life and extinction, silence and eruption. The first thing that strikes you is the scale. Not the scale of human achievement, but the scale of nature before humanity ever arrived. The horizon is dominated by volcanoes, dozens of them, some dormant, some restless, some actively reshaping the world beneath their feet. Their snow-covered summits rise through the clouds like ancient gods watching over an untouched kingdom. From a distance they appear serene, frozen in place for eternity. Yet beneath those perfect white slopes lies unimaginable violence. Molten rock churns deep underground. Pressure builds, the earth waits, and then without warning, mountains explode. Kamchatka sits along the Pacific Ring of Fire, one of the most geologically active regions on Earth. Here, the immense Pacific Plate dives beneath the Eurasian Plate, sinking slowly into the mantle below. The collision generates colossal heat and pressure, feeding a chain of volcanoes that stretches across the peninsula. It is one of the greatest concentrations of active volcanoes anywhere on Earth. A landscape still being born. A wilderness still under construction. And nowhere is that more visible than in the Valley of Geysers. Hidden within a remote canyon, steam rises from the ground in hundreds of places. Boiling water erupts skyward. Mud bubbles and churns. Sulfur hangs in the air. The valley feels alive, not alive in the way forests or animals are alive. Alive in the way a living planet is alive. The ground breathes, the earth exhales. Every pool, every vent, every plume of steam is a reminder that the crust beneath our feet is astonishingly thin. Beneath it lies an ocean of molten rock capable of rewriting entire landscapes. Yet somehow, life thrives here. Against every expectation, Kamchatka is one of the richest wildernesses in the northern hemisphere. Ancient forests spread across volcanic foothills. Wild rivers descend from glaciers. Fields of flowers bloom beneath smoking mountains. It is a place built by catastrophe, yet overflowing with life. Brown bears roam these valleys in astonishing numbers. They emerge from forests like shadows given form, massive, silent, powerful. Kamchatka contains one of the largest populations of brown bears on Earth. Some weigh more than half a ton. For much of the year, they follow the rivers, not because the rivers are easy paths, because the rivers carry life. Every summer, millions of salmon return from the Pacific Ocean. They surge upstream through icy currents, driven by instincts older than civilization itself. The water churns silver, the rivers become living highways, and the bears gather. A bear stands motionless in the current. Water rushes around its legs. For a moment, everything is still, then lightning strikes, a flash of movement. A salmon is caught. The river continues flowing. The cycle continues, predator and prey, death and renewal, an ancient rhythm repeating itself exactly as it has for thousands of years. Above the rivers, eagles circle, Steller's sea eagles, among the largest birds of prey on Earth. Their wings stretch wider than many people are tall. They ride the Arctic winds over forests, volcanoes and coastlines, searching for opportunity in this land of extremes. Everything here survives because it adapts. Nothing survives because conditions are easy. Winter arrives with terrifying force. Temperatures plunge, blizzards erase the horizon, snow buries entire valleys. the landscape transforms into a frozen kingdom of white and blue. For months, much of Kamchatka becomes inaccessible. Roads disappear, trails vanish, silence takes control. Yet, even in winter, the volcanoes remain awake. Imagine standing in a snowstorm while steam rises from the ground beneath your feet. Imagine ice-covered rivers flowing beneath clouds of volcanic gas. Imagine glaciers descending the slopes of active volcanoes. This is one of Kamchatka's greatest paradoxes. Fire and ice occupy the same mountain, two opposing worlds existing together. Glaciers cling to volcanic peaks. Lava melts through ancient snowfields. The hottest forces on Earth meet some of the coldest, and somehow both survive. Few places reveal the planet's contradiction so dramatically. From above, the peninsula appears almost prehistoric. No sprawling cities, no endless highways, no signs that humanity has conquered anything. Instead, there are endless forests, jagged ridges, frozen rivers, volcanic deserts, landscapes so untouched that they resemble Earth millions of years ago. In some regions, the terrain becomes almost extraterrestrial. Black lava fields stretch toward distant horizons. Ash-covered slopes reflect no color. The ground appears scorched and lifeless. Yet look closer. Tiny plants emerge from cracks in volcanic rock. Mosses spread across old lava flows. Life begins again. It always does. That is Kamchatka's greatest lesson. Destruction is never the end. Every eruption creates the conditions for something new. Every collapse becomes a beginning. Every catastrophe becomes part of a larger story. Even the ocean surrounding Kamchatka feels wild beyond imagination. The Pacific crashes against remote coastlines where few humans ever set foot. Sea otters drift through kelp forests, orcas patrol offshore waters, whales migrate through icy seas. Beneath the waves, volcanic forces continue their hidden work, shaping the seafloor just as they shape the land above. The entire region exists at the boundary between worlds, ocean and continent, fire and ice, life and extinction, past and future. And perhaps that is why Kamchatka feels so mythic. Not because legends were written here, but because the landscape itself feels like a legend. Every mountain appears capable of awakening. Every valley seems untouched by time. Every horizon hints at something beyond human understanding. There are still places here where no roads lead, places where weather determines fate, places where nature remains entirely in control. In an age when satellites map every corner of the globe and cities glow across the night side of Earth, Kamchatka remains one of the last true wildernesses, not because people forgot about it, because nature never surrendered it. This land belongs to volcanoes, to glaciers, to rivers, to bears, to storms, to the deep forces that have shaped our planet for millions of years. And standing before these immense mountains of fire and ice, surrounded by a wilderness that seems older than memory itself, you begin to understand something profound. The Earth is not merely a place we inhabit, it is a living world still creating itself. And in Kamchatka, you can watch that creation happening in real time.